Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, February 19. Thanks for joining us. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. The community of Bank Hall has been shaken by the loss of 76-year-old Eric Fenty, who perished in a house fire which destroyed his home at Q Road around 11:20 last night. Two members of the community valiantly tried to save the senior citizen, whom they said did not deserve such a tragic death. Damian Jordan told Barbados Today after hearing an explosion, he immediately took action.
I see a man running through the truck saying it's fast. So I get up and run too. And when I come out, he sees this house. And I forget there's the old man in here, so I tell myself, shit, boy, he got me in there. So I try looking for something sharp to like pry open the side door. So I didn't find that but a shovel. So I try looking out the, knocking out the windows. That was when the smoke started really intense, and the intense heat pushed me back. I can't forget all the windows out, and then he was right here.
Fabian McDonald said he did all he could to help save Mr. Fenty.
I tried to like help people pull him through, but it was like dead weight. You understand? So the flames and the smoke and everything just got through the window, so he had to like step back. You understand? And when I realized that okay, there was nothing else I could do, you know? That is when, you know, then when a couple of other guys was coming to help, you know, the other people in the neighborhood was aware what was going on, you know, everybody else come out, try to, you know, assist, right? But last time, everything was in flames.
In other news this Tuesday, the Barbados Down Syndrome Association is raising concern about the alleged severe beating of an 8-year-old boy who has Down syndrome by a teacher at the Ellington Primary School Special Care Unit last week. In a statement, President of the association, Asher Aline Renwick, described the incident as an act of brutality and gross violation of human rights. She insisted that under no circumstance was the punishment meted out to the child acceptable, adding that it raises questions about the safety of Barbadian children with Down syndrome. Aline Renwick also stressed that brutality must not be tolerated and urged the Ministry of Education to address the matter. Meanwhile, Joyanne Haig, who has a daughter with Down syndrome, today visited the mother of the child to lend her support. Haig said she was so distressed by the report that she reached out to the Education Minister, Santia Bradshaw. Haig stressed that the matter should be addressed urgently.
I am hopeful that this one is not swept under the rug. I am confident after speaking to Minister Bradshaw that it will not be, and it will be put on the front burner. Our children with special needs can't exactly defend themselves. No one should be treated in this way, but in particular persons with special needs. And it does pain me really and truly when I read it, and it could be my daughter, and I would have to take some action too. So I can't blame the mother for feeling the way she felt. I felt really hurt when I saw the marks. I have my child, and yes, I have to discipline my child, but I talk to my daughter. I don't hit my daughter with Down syndrome, and I would encourage other parents not to do so, and the teachers to look to see there are other ways of reprimanding the child by speaking to them, and certainly not treating any child, in particular persons with special needs, in this vein.
To the law courts now, 56-year-old businessman George Reginald Ivan Paris was remanded to Dodds after being charged in connection with over $10 million worth of cannabis and cocaine. Paris, of number 318 Inchcap Terrace, Wellhouse, St. Philip, was not required to plead to the indictable charges of possession, possession with intent to supply, possession with intent to traffic, 1,028.4 kilos of cannabis and 22.7 kilos of cocaine on February 14, as well as importation of the drugs between February 5th and 6th. Police said the drugs were found in a container shipped to a business located in St. John. Paris, who appeared before Chief Magistrate Christopher Birch, will return to court on March 19. It's day 2 of debate on the 2019-2020 estimates of revenue and expenditure. An official from the Barbados Licensing Authority told the Standing Finance Committee the authority has a tough fight on its hands against criminals. Chief Licensing Officer Virgil Knight lamented that some people were continually finding ways to beat the system as it relates to licensing of vehicles. He said the licensing authority was aware of scammers who were changing the registration numbers on engines in a bid to get them registered. Knight noted that while staff has been alerted, criminals were staying one step ahead of them with their cunning strategies.
First, it was the chassis numbers being body fill and rating. Now it is chassis numbers being removed and replaced with others, and skillfully done. Staff at the organization is learning about these things on the job, basically. Because every time we find a method, or we be able to identify a method, the culprits are stepping up their game and getting past us.
Meanwhile, word came today that residents of White Hill St. Andrew will soon be getting a new road. Transport, Works and Maintenance Minister Dr. William Duguid revealed that plans are already on the way to construct a new road following the collapse of the district's main road in 2014.
A gentleman, I guess I can call his name, Mr. Sidney Robertson, was contracted to get the empirical evidence and put forward whether a new road could go on the exact site or whether he had to give an alternate location for the road. And he's not only given the alternate location, but he's also given an alternate way of how the road could be constructed using precast concrete. And I have submitted that to you, Minister, obviously before I've taken it to Cabinet, for you to meet with us, to look and see if you agree with the way forward on this. We've had some very robust discussions, not only personally, but also in Cabinet about this matter. And I must tell you that it has taken all of the attention of the Ministry. We anticipate, from what Mr. Robertson has said, that it will cost in the vicinity of $8 million, between $5 to $8 million, and that's his preliminary assessment.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To our regional neighbors now, Trinidad and Tobago's Media Association has called on the police commissioner to be more temperate in his words so that he does not appear to be against freedom of speech. The statement was issued after Commissioner Gary Griffith challenged the media's decision to interview people and families of those whom he said aren't on the right side of the law. CNC3 News reports on the comments by the commissioner.
From politicians who allegedly collude with gang leaders to members of the media accused of shielding them, Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith exempted no one from a tongue lashing when asked about his continued efforts to peg back criminals.
I think the media they need to understand their role and function, just as the Law Association. When the Law Association sends out a release without speaking to other members of the Law Association, without speaking to the Commissioner of Police and making very foolish comments, it shows that we need to understand our responsibility. This is a war out there. We have a country to defend, and the media, it is not a status, it's not a matter of balance, it's not a matter of, well, let us try and find an equal playing field. This is a situation of good versus evil, and everybody needs to step up to the plate and understand their responsibility.
With balance and fairness being classic buzzwords of journalism ethics, the commissioner questioned whether there were any motives for giving an air to questionable characters. He also stressed fairness would be maintained across the board and that even his own were not above the law.
In the same manner it is that I will continue to guard and protect the rights and the image of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the officers. I will be the first in local powers to bust the truth.
Further afield, thousands of people have joined protests across France against a spate of attacks. The demonstrators marched under the slogan, "That's enough," in the capital Paris and other cities.
It was absolutely packed here in the Place de la République. Thousands and thousands of people had gathered in this square in the east of the French capital and packing out the roads leading up to this square as well. There was really a big presence and it was quite a calm, solemn atmosphere. People had gathered standing in silence, holding up placards, banners, signs saying "Ça suffit," that is enough. And I spoke to people about why they had come down here tonight, and many of them told me they felt they had to do something about rising anti-Semitism in France, because a lot of them said they'd seen it from their own experience growing over the past years, the past 15 to 20 years, many of them said, and that if it wasn't tackled, it would be a problem for generations to come. So a real sense of people wanting to be down here. There was also a political presence, representatives of lots of the major political parties in France down here trying to make a stand. But it was really a kind of citizens' atmosphere tonight, with people singing the Marseillaise, children present, people saying they'd come together to make a stand symbolically across France tonight.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screen play at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.